Our vision or purpose is to enrich and empower Sri Lankan lives and enterprises. Most valuable brand in the country, we always take it on ourselves to do whatever we can to improve the quality of life and the average connectivity that we can provide to our customers. Providing connectivity is a simple bridge eliminating that digital divide, but now we can look at always bringing technology to solve problems. The classic one is the fuel crisis. We thought the fuel crisis can be only solved through a fuel supplying more fuel to the market. But we brought in a technology solution that resulted in solving the crisis and also reducing the consumption of fuel crisis.
Since its founding, listed telco Dialog has deployed technology-led services to connect people even when the opportunity of doing so financially wasn't so obvious for the company. Supun Weerasinghe took over as Dialog's Chief Executive in 2017 and has built on the company's legacy of connecting people in Sri Lanka to opportunity. Recently, it's been recognized for these sustainability practices. Supun Weerasinghe, welcome to Echelon. Let's start here, Supun. Sri Lanka's been facing a fairly tumultuous time in its economy. People have been feeling the pressure of price increases, costs rising due to inflation, etc. Right? It's in this climate that you have to run one of Sri Lanka's largest telcos. What's the lay of the land looking like from your vantage point? What are those big priorities for you?
Being the largest connectivity provider in the country makes us a significant gives us a significant responsibility to provide nationwide connectivity, world-class connectivity, but also making sure that we remain sustainable, our business model remains sustainable. However, the changes to economic environment since 2022 especially, and resulting inflation, forex devaluation, all that has had a substantial impact, I would say, onto our business and to the entire industry. Telecommunications is an industry which is very capital intensive. On average, the entire industry invests nearly 30% of its revenue back every year on expansion, adding new capacity. And that cost nearly doubled when the currency devalued. And that means that close to about 40-50% of the revenue has to be reinvested if you have to maintain the same level of expansion and growth. This is, on one hand, is a massive challenge. On the other hand, the operational cost itself, again, provides a significant challenge and opportunity to rescale, restructure the business. Our biggest cost line is electricity, for example. Electricity cost increased by 130% over the last 12 months. In our network, the impact is few billions, to say the least. Overall impact of the cost is around 13 to 14 percentage points on our EBITDA. We used to generate a EBITDA margin of about 43%, and last year end we were down to about 29. So it is not sustainable at 29% EBITDA to invest, provide larger connectivity, bring in new technology, unless we relook at the business model, relook at the market structure, and make sure that we do those changes using this crisis as an opportunity so that we are ready for the next decade. From the consumer side, again, we see a challenging environment because consumer is also challenged for wallet pressure. And given there's heavy price competition in the market, the effective price per GB or effective price per minute has been coming down, even in an inflationary environment. And that is not healthy from an industry point of view. So we have challenge in terms of top line growth because of largely price-led competition in the market. Then we have a challenge in margins, operating margins, because of the inflation and related cost increases. And thirdly, the capital investments have become a lot more expensive now because of the currency devaluation. These three challenges need to, one is external challenge, but again infused by our own actions, need to be addressed if we are to remain sustainable and as a strong industry going into the next 10 years.
If I can ask you one follow up on that, and that is, okay, if these are the challenges, you on every significant front you have a challenge. How do you think ideally things should pan out? What would you wish for from a basically from broader policy perspective, and also from you are an influential telco provider, as providers, service providers, from both these fronts, what can be the solution to this?
Yeah, I think the solution has to be twofold. One is an external solution which is driven on the market structure, more consolidation in the market. I think in a voice era, 4 or 5 operators can survive, can sustain, because you don't need so much of spectrum or frequencies to operate. But in a data era, if you are to provide good quality of service, nationwide broadband, then you need large volumes of frequency, large chunks of spectrum. When there are multiple or large number of players, that gets fragmented and it is not effective utilization of spectrum. So market needs to consolidate. I would say maximum 2 to 3 operators should be the norm going forward, because even the larger markets like India or Bangladesh or even Malaysia, we are seeing more consolidation of the markets coming down to 3 or 4 maximum operators in those large markets. So Sri Lanka, I would say that we should move more in the direction of market consolidation so that everyone can have sustainable returns and provide good quality broadband. That's one challenge, more challenge for the regulator and the government, but as operators we have to do our part in terms of driving that agenda. The other is adopting more digital platforms, lowering our cost base so that we are a lot more efficient in our delivery of our services to the consumer. That again, the crisis gives an opportunity to challenge, adapt faster rather than being stuck up with the traditional ways of doing business. Because through digital, you can lower costs, improve speed, improve customer experience as well. And that's the internal transformation that operators and we are looking into and getting involved in.
Okay, in this context that we have of immediate challenges, plus how you think the industry can potentially evolve. It's not a given that it will evolve that way, but that's potentially what you think is the better option for consumers and the players also. How is Dialog looking at its sustainability agenda? How does a sustainability agenda for a company of your size fit into the context that you're now operating in?
Yeah, so sustainability, I would say, has been a core part of our business existence. Our vision or purpose is to enrich and empower Sri Lankan lives and enterprises. And the most valuable brand in the country, we always take it on ourselves to do whatever we can to improve the quality of life and the coverage connectivity that we can provide to our customers. So we don't stop at just providing simple connectivity. We look at what more we can do on top of connectivity. Providing connectivity is a simple bridge, eliminating that digital divide. But now we can look at always bringing technology to solve problems. The classic one is the fuel crisis. We thought the fuel crisis can be only solved through supplying more fuel to the market. But we brought in a technology solution that resulted in solving the crisis and also reducing the consumption of fuel crisis. So that is one classic example. Then during COVID pandemic, a lot of kids couldn't access educational content. Maybe they didn't have access to a computer or they didn't have broadband. So we, with the Ministry of Education, enabled 6 channels on our Dialog TV platform to broadcast Nanasa TV content. Then gave access to all the children across the country free of charge to continue their learning, and that continues to date as well. During the COVID health crisis, we saw that we are going to run out of beds, hospital beds, especially during the Delta variant. And again, with the Ministry of Health, we proposed a IT platform, technology platform, where the patient could stay at home and could take care of at home rather than occupy a hospital bed. And based on the condition of the patient, we moved to the hospital. I think we took care of over 150,000 patients, less than one or no fatalities during that entire period through that home care platform. Again, simple use of technology, but working with the government, working with the relevant ministry and other like-minded partners. In COVID care platform, we had Bank of Ceylon and WaveNet coming forward. In the National Fuel Pass, we have Millennium IT coming forward to support us along with ICT and ministry. So we always believe in using technology to solve national problems, and we have done it successfully, and that's part and parcel of our existence.
So in a way, your approach to sustainability means that it has become part of your coexistence. It's not something you have bolted on. Where did this start? Where did this thinking start coming about from?
Yeah, I would say that it's part and parcel of our value system, our culture in the organization. I joined the organization way back in 1999. We had less than maybe 50,000 customers at that time. Even that time, we started our initiatives supporting the Ceylon Deaf and Blind School. We supported Jaipur Food Foundation. But we couldn't, as a small operator at that time, we couldn't afford to contribute directly. So we reached out to the customers and said, you can contribute 1% of your bill, we will match it. So we used this crowdfunding. Now we call it crowdfunding. But 20 years ago, we basically got help of everyone to support. Now we recently launched the Karuna platform. Again, Karuna.lk is a platform for people to put their courses and then seek funding. We do the verification, accreditation of those courses to make sure those are genuine and create that platform. So I would say everyone in the Dialog family and our partners truly, sincerely believe in sustainability and helping our communities. One simple example is when Easter Sunday incident happened, we looked at how can we help those communities that were affected. And we saw a lot of children getting impacted because their loved ones were, or parents were taken away, or their families got impacted. So together with, again, our customers and our partners, we launched a rally program called Rally to Care. And through that, we provide scholarships to 350 children until they finish their education. So some kids, we provide sponsorship for 18 years, and we have done up to so far 4 years, both in Batiklo, Colombo, and in Negombo. And these are initiatives that you have to respond to the crisis rather than waiting for somebody to come and tell that you have to do this for the country.
As CEO, I suppose you have to set the tone. If the organization is to take across the board sustainability seriously and sort of live that ethos, right? How do you make that happen? How do you as a leader make sure the organization owns this agenda that you are setting?
I, as the leader of the organization, more gives direction and guidance and set the tone. However, I believe that the entire organization really cares for people, serving 17 million people, Sri Lankans. We see the pain and the challenges and the struggles that our people go through. So because of that, they are always wanting to help. It's more enabling them that I have to do, giving them the platform for them to come in and contribute, and then they rally around that. And it has been a very easy, pleasurable experience because they always embrace it. It's not only the Dialog team, but also our partners who come together and our customers. In some incidents, we initiated these causes because customers say, can you create a program because we want to help maybe people who are affected by floods or earth slips? And then we create those programs so that they have a credible way of helping our fellow Sri Lankan.
It's typical that senior management teams, strategic leaders in a company will have KPIs related to financial outcomes, right? How is it different at Dialog? Do you have KPIs related to sustainability initiatives? How do you sort of align senior leadership teams?
We don't have specific KPI on sustainability. We are driven on financial KPIs, customer experience KPIs, and other business KPIs. But the overarching KPI is delivering on our purpose, which is empowering and enriching Sri Lankan lives and enterprises. So everything that we do has to finally translate to that larger purpose. And we always ask ourselves, are we doing enough to enrich and empower Sri Lankan lives and enterprises? So that purpose is above and beyond those KPIs. And that's how everyone is able to support. Even during the most challenging times, when last year, first quarter, we had close to about 8 billion of losses because of the currency devaluation. At the same time, we went to the board and asked for to help the communities and to launch the Manudam Mehevara program, donate 100 million initially for that program and kickstart that program. So the board again lives the same values. I can't do stuff if the board doesn't support. Board has been very supportive through all these challenges. Even during COVID, when the first April 2020 was a very challenging quarter, we reported a loss in that quarter, or we had a massive drop in profits. But again, we said, can we go and build 2 ICUs because ICU beds were running out. Again, we got support to donate up to 200 million rupees that time to build ICUs. So we believe that sustainability is above and beyond the short-term KPIs, the immediate financial results. If we are to do business, we have to have a country, we have to have our people, and we have to take care of them if we are to remain sustainable. That's how we look at it.
If you also look at it in terms of your mission, broader purpose being to enrich lives, and you as a technology-based company, I suppose the greater opportunity is to leverage on technology to sort of enrich lives over the long term, right? Again, you have to take a vision review. Now, Supun Weerasinghe, the leader of this company, how do you, in this climate, find alignment about the core capability you have, which is around technology, and about enriching lives in this climate?
No, I guess it's a mindset and attitude, I would say. It's not an expensive proposition, and it's not an either or mutually exclusive scenario. If you always keep the people in mind, if you always keep the country at heart, then you can always find solutions to help the country and bring in inclusive solutions to solve problems and in a meaningful way without having to invest large sums of money. I think QR solution was a classic one. We gave it free of charge to the government. We committed to run for 3 years free of charge, but doesn't mean that we created a massive impact to our P&L. It's bringing technology, the capabilities that we have, bringing partnerships and solving that problem. So many other solutions, it's a mindset, it's attitude. Some of these things doesn't cost too much. It's the approach that you put in.
Recently, ACCA recognized Dialog for its sustainability practices and reporting on those. Why do you think this is significant to be recognized?
Yeah, I guess it's one of the most important coveted recognitions that we had received for our sustainability initiatives. Over the last 20 plus years, we have been championing sustainability without looking for recognition or reward. But it's always nice to be recognized and given that due praise, which helps to go beyond, because the team gets then even more motivated to do that good work. We have been, I think, reporting on sustainability for over 10 years. We adopt the GRI standard for reporting. Because we believe that if you don't measure, you can't really improve, you can't create that impact. So we adopted GRI, standard-based sustainability reporting, more than 15 years ago. And that continues, that gets every year audited by a third-party independent DNV, and we publish a separate sustainability report. Our initiatives also help to champion sustainability reporting across the Axiata group. So Axiata group looked at Sri Lanka and then said, can we adopt this for entire group? So Bangladesh started reporting, and then now the entire group is reporting. So we have been the change maker in that sense. We now have adopted a Sustainability Accounting Standards Board guidelines on reporting, as well as the GSM Association, the telco operator body, has also given certain KPIs on sustainability, especially carbon emissions, the privacy-related, cybersecurity-related KPIs. So we start reporting, measuring those. The first thing is to start measuring, because most of the measurements, the data is not available. You start measuring, then you can start improving. And we believe that when we start going public, disclosing what we are doing, that on one hand makes us accountable to improve, but also helps the entire industry and the entire country, the other corporates, to look at and adapt and improve. So we are kind of the catalyst in that sense for the entire country and the entire industry to drive sustainability.
And in this case, the group also you've influenced.
Yes.
Right. Supun Weerasinghe, a great chat. Anything you think you need to add on this?
Thank you for giving this opportunity to share our work, and thank you to ACCA for this great recognition. Look forward to continuing to do all this good work in the coming years as well. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Supun, for joining us.
Thank you.